Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 9th day of the New Earth Summit, now in its third year. India's first integrative summit on solutions to our problems in health, food, farming, and environment. I'm Sophie Sequeira from Earthkeepers Connect Goa, your host for this evening. I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed panelists and to our audience on behalf of our summit's convener, Darryl D'Souza, and our 10 Earthkeeper groups in India and overseas. We express our gratitude to you for taking time out from your busy schedule to be with us today and to share your insights and experience so that all watching this live webinar and its recording later may benefit from the holistic science and wisdom being presented on this platform that will help us all co-create a beautiful world. So our topic for today is the need for an integrated natural medicine committee. So I will start with introducing our three panelists for the today to the audience. Dr. Susan Raj has a BSc in nursing from the College of Nursing, Indore, and an MSW in medical and psychiatry from Karve Institute of Social Sciences, Pune. She is a certified practitioner of mineral therapy and is also a behavior specialist who is passionate about changing the use and throw behavior of humans. Dr. Susan has worked on the ground for people afflicted with HIV/AIDS and was invited by the WHO, World Health Organization, as a temporary advisor to design a HIV intervention program for various high-risk communities. She spearheads innovative ideas and projects to transform rural India into a vitality in our nation's progress and development. She has been conferred with a Doctorate of Humanity by the Emmanuel Theological Seminary, Kota in Rajasthan, India. Dr. Susan has served many projects and organizations such as the Saheli Project by WHO, Wake Up Pune, and Disha Project through Deep Griya Society Pune, HEEALS projects, and its director for Emmanuel, and as its director for Emmanuel Mission Group of Societies, Kota Environmental Sanitation Society, and has been with the Academic Advisors Pune on their Sagar Mitra project and Life Skill Orientation Program, has assisted ESAF and National Institute of Naturopathy, Pune, and is on her latest venture, the Earth Unit Project. Our second panelist is Jagannath Chatterjee, is a health activist campaigning against vaccination and GMOs since the year 2000. He has also campaigned in favor of organic farming and natural health systems. He is a severe critic of the current healthcare system and believes it is behind the explosion of chronic disease in society. He urges people to wake up to the threats of the modern day emphasis on mindless development and points out that unless a people-led system of governance is in place, living on this planet may no longer be a viable option. Currently, he works for an NGO called RCDC in Odisha and is engaged in the climate justice theme of the organization. And finally, our third panelist, Darryl D'Souza, who has been teaching people how to reverse chronic illnesses in integrated natural therapies for over 16 years. After his own journey of 14 years of illness that almost ended his life in 2004 due to allopathic medicine failing him. His book, Become Healthy or Extinct, as well as his lectures, seminars, and webinars, workshops, and residential retreats on mind, body, spirit healing are sought out by individuals and organizations across the globe. Darryl was the secretary of the World United Doctors and Healers Association for 5 years, during which he curated and convened their annual continued medico-spiritual education conferences. Darryl is also an industrial engineer, organic farmer, environmentalist, TEDx speaker, founder of the Earth Keepers Connect, ambassador of Vegan Nation, convener of the New Earth Summit, and a speaker at the World Parliaments on Spirituality. So for the first hour of this webinar, I have a couple of questions for our panelists, which will be followed by question and answers with our audience at 7 p.m., who may type their questions in the Q&A box below, even before that time. If you would like to receive the recorded video of this webinar, or you want to share it with others, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The New Earth Summit. Now for my questions to the panelists. If I can start with Darryl. Can you tell us about the proposed constitution and function of this Integrated Natural Medicine Committee?
Thank you, Sophie, and good evening to everyone, our panelists and the audience. First, yes, definitely addressing the question that Sophie has put, I would like to make a short presentation just to give some basics, to our audience of what I mean by integrative natural medicine, and also picking up from yesterday's topic, decentralized. What is a decentralized medicine system, and why is it turning out to be very crucial and critical right now at this point in time? So I'll open up my presentation. So I'm starting bang with the current situation in the world today. And what is in the center, you can see the great coronavirus, COVID-19, pandemic or plandemic or whatever you like to call it. That is affecting humanity, and we are struggling with it for the last 2 years. On the left hand side, you can see one group of the main people who are taking charge and giving us a solution, that is a vaccine. And on the right hand side, you will see another group of people who are also giving solutions to this current problem. So on the left hand side, you can see the names of 2 global organizations. Apparently, they have been working, it seems, for over a decade, and but nobody in the public domain ever heard of them before. That they were taking care of our health. These names have come up only in the last 2 years, and also the solutions are being provided. So they are the advisors of what is this virus all about, how does it behave, how is it causing the COVID symptoms that we are experiencing. And they have only one solution, which is in collaboration with vaccine manufacturers. And that's all the solutions are either vaccine A, vaccine B, or vaccine C. And we've come to a point right now where months have gone by where we are seeing a lot of vaccine injuries. That means people, after taking the vaccine, they are coming up with serious side effects, whether it is nervous system problems or hair fall or hormonal imbalances, menstrual periods going haywire, or blood clotting and heart attacks and brain stroke. So, but on the other side, that's the domain on the right hand side. That's the domain that I have been working in since the last 16 years. And I had COVID myself for 1 week in May this year. And I used integrative natural medicine, which was basically taking it easy, relaxing at home, having electrolytes, and whether it was coconut water or it was some fruit juice or green smoothie, taking basic supplements, getting a sun bath, resting, very simple protocols. And one of the most successful on the right hand side in India, at least, has been the NICE protocol by Dr. Viswarup Roy Chaudhary, uh, which has, this is an old story, 3 months back, where they had cured 60,000 COVID patients without a single death. I'm sure it has crossed 1 lakh over, this time, because we have some COVID NICE experts in Goa as well who have been treating COVID patients. So besides that, we already have an established Ayush protocol for COVID, homeopathy, and millions of Indians who had the symptoms, they started curing themselves from uh, this cough, cold, and joint pains, loss of taste and smell, high fever. And what they have been working on is the first two words over there on the immunity of the human body, which is called also the terrain. How is the environment inside your body? So basically, all of the natural medicine practitioners, they've been working on increasing your immunity, improving your diet and nutrition, sunlight exposure, mineralization, all the things that I use for my own case. And the result you can see down is a much higher rate of recovery and higher immunity. Now, it is still a scientific debate, not in the domain of the public. The public are not so aware of what a virus is and how it behaves, but in the domain of experts. I just shared a file recently which had about 50 independent researchers, scientists, virologists, epidemiologists who have given statements and videos and presentations saying that this current COVID-19 virus has not even been isolated. That's the first part. Even if you isolate something, the next part is how do you prove that this thing is alive and it moves, or it goes into the cells of the human body, or it multiplies inside the cells, and it causes the sickness. None of this has ever scientifically been proved. It gives you the symptoms, and then you can pass it on from one person to the other. So on the other side, it is just these companies, CDC, WHO, and some vaccine manufacturers like Serum Institute of India, who have claimed to isolate this virus, uh, and they say that it is causing this, symptoms. So they're more of business entities who are in the business of handling COVID and in the business of giving us the one and only solution, which is the vaccine. Whereas on the other side, we have natural medicine practitioners who have been practicing from even before the time that India at least has been practicing natural medicine since 5,000 years. So that's why I think in India we have more natural protocols. And so now I'll just come, a little take one step forward from this current situation. And what is, integrative? So what are we healing? So integrative natural medicine addresses this wellness of your mind, body, and spirit with all natural components. And I will just show some of them in a couple of slides. Now, this is where I started in my journey. I was sick for about 14 years from 1990 to 2004, where allopathy could not solve my digestive disorders, my skin allergies, and other health issues that I had. And once I went to natural therapy, I just got cured in 1 year. So I started teaching this, and I have a book called Become Healthy or Extinct, which is gone around the world. I released this in 2011. So here's just a snapshot of what integrative natural therapies I have been teaching through my book, and I have been applying for all the people who have come to me since 2005. So I've been treating people for the last 16 years. And if you read each one of them, you will see that yes, organ detoxes are also from natural herbs. So all of those components, they are natural. They are not man-made chemicals. And then I further, from 2012, I started doing publicly workshops in different cities, teaching this integrative natural medicine. This is just one picture. Yeah, somewhere in 2012, I remember this is the senior citizens ghar in Kalangut in Goa where I stay. So on the left hand side is addressing a group of problems. The right hand side is with certain natural therapies. Now coming to decentralized, the broader picture. Uh, Now the first word is decentralized. Why is that so important? What I spoke of earlier, it is based on that slide. So on the left hand side was this global system, which is a centralized system where only a couple of agencies have taken the charge or are in control of identifying this virus and telling us, no, this vaccine is the only solution. So when it's centralized, you have control, you have what is called right now, everybody in the world knows the term big pharma mafia that have, been running the show for the last 120 years, where mainly for internal medicine, if you look at allopathic pills for, all of these illnesses, people have just been popping them and not getting any cures. But in integrative natural medicine, people have been getting cures. So in a centralized system, you have control, you have domination, you have one solution only. Everybody has to follow this, and at least for high BP, cholesterol, diabetes, and all of that, allopathic pills till date have not given any solution. And even the vaccine, the same, right? From the allopathic medicine systems, all the companies that uh, started giving all those medicines, they are the same companies that are giving us the vaccine. And on the vaccines also, we see that it doesn't prevent you from getting infected from COVID. It doesn't prevent transmission, and it doesn't prevent you getting, sick and dying also. So the same thing is going on. But when you have a decentralized system, you have independent people using different natural systems in different countries. And, so there's a degree of freedom. And it's very open. The model, it's an open, laboratory where I have been teaching like an open laboratory, all of these sciences through my book, also the free download on the internet. So people in various places take it, they use, whatever helps them, and they are free to, change it a bit and improve upon it. And so they have a final better product at uh, at their location. So that's the beauty of a decentralized system. It's not a control system. It is open to people. It is not a money-making system. It cannot be controlled and dominated by powerful entities just for business profits. It's used locally by the people, for the people, and it links up with our traditional medicine and all the ancient healing sciences. So this is what we are doing in the movement of integrative natural medicine, merging the best of modern medicine with the complementary medicine, alternative medicine, and the ancient healing sciences to heal mind, body, and spirit in a minimally invasive way. That is, with the least amount of operations, and the technique should be safe, and they should also be economical. Now, when I say modern medicine, I have been, working in this through the World United, right, since 2013, bringing in allopathy as well, but allopathy mainly for the diagnostics part of it. You see, MRI, CT scan, and all, they are amazing. Even surgeries or, laparoscopic or pinhole surgeries, or, acute trauma medicine when you get injuries or fractures. For emergency medicine, it's very good. Uh, but for the long-term chronic illnesses, till date, allopathy has not, given solutions for these. If you see the next paragraph, um, the effort is to reverse. Okay, it's not maintain your diabetes or maintain your weight. No, it is to reverse those bad conditions. That's a key word. So integrative natural medicine works towards this. And so till date, allopathy has no, pills have no resolution for this. So in our integration, what we do is we take the best of allopathy. And if the pills are not curing, we drop that. But we use let food be thy medicine, right? And we use herbs for healing. We use acupressure, breathing, and all these techniques that are there in the next para. There are just few of these. If I really go to list them, there will be about 100, maybe over 100. And I have been practicing, about 15 of these therapies, and I have experienced another 30, 40 myself personally. So this is the effort that we're trying to do with integrative natural medicine. Reverse all of these chronic illnesses with these different therapies. And what is the model about? It is, I had started, using it at my wellness center in Goa. I was initially doing workshops and a lot of programs in my own home, which also I converted into a wellness center. The main hall was where we used to give the lectures, and then I had 2 bedrooms, which were consulting rooms. So I started that in 2015. That was for other therapists and all to come. But my own practice, of course, it was since 2005. And then in 2020, I got a bigger venue, a big hall, and where I set up a integrative medicine practice. In there, the model was diagnosis, mind, body, spirit. So what we'll be doing in that, when a patient comes who wanted to be treated by an integrated system, you would have at least 3 therapists over there. And one therapist would be somebody who would work, if I use the word mind, that means somebody who works with psychology, or a counselor where they can handle a person's emotions, fears, anxiety, family life, depression, all of that. Then body was a physical therapist, either a yoga teacher or an acupressurist or an acupuncturist or a body worker, somebody who would touch your body and feel it and work with you physically. And then the last was spirit. We used to use energy healers. So that means somebody who practices Reiki, pranic healing, healing with crystals, energy medicine. Okay, because many of those people, they have, deeper clairvoyance, clairaudience, or psychic powers where they can scan your body and see certain energy patterns and be able to tell you even without an MRI or CT scan, that you have a problem in this area and that area. So just with 3 practitioners, diagnosing mind, body, spirit, and then after the client comes and tells them all of their problems, then they take some time together to work out an integrated solution. And this healing also, the healing protocol that is given is for mind, body, spirit. So from tomorrow, and need be, like if I was involved with the patient, then I would be teaching them acupressure on the first day, would at least take about half an hour to 45 minutes. And so the patient would go home with certain diet plans, certain acupressure, certain things from the other therapists. And so that was the meaning of, you know, diagnosing mind, body, spirit, and also healing protocols. So that's what I've been working on since 2013 through the World United. And then my term ended in 2017. In 2018, I founded the Earth Keepers Connect, and then I brought, carried on the work of mind, body, spirit healing through the New Earth Summit. That is popularizing it. Of course, my center and my work was going on. So this is not something that I want you to read right now. It is just for me to remember. I had made a proposal to the Goa Tourism Development Corporation in 2016, promoting Goa as a tourist destination for wellness. So you see, so people could come here, and I proposed about 1,000 integrative natural medicine centers in Goa. Because my home was one, and I knew another, 30 over here in Goa, where a lot of multidisciplinary people were teaching natural therapies and treating patients, and reversing, amazing even cancer and so many of the chronic illnesses. So this the center was also an education center. Why is that so important? Because part of integrative and natural medicine is the education part to the public of teaching them what are the healthy foods to eat, which are the unhealthy foods, and which are the bad habits that you should avoid, and these are the good habits. How much of exercise, how much of water, how much of detoxification. So to give that education, we found it better to educate the entire public of the area. So we felt that, and we were doing this. The proposal was to convert unused Portuguese villas in Goa and to use them, because Portuguese villas have got big halls where about 60 to 70 people can also sit, uh, and they have got about 6, 7, 8 bedrooms. So the thing, and many people they don't have such big families anymore. We were just kind of wanting to request them to give us 4 bedrooms, and the rest 2 bedrooms they could, or 3 bedrooms they could use for themselves. And that would, and a group of people would just come together and, probably refurbish the place, put in some money, do up the place, and give rent to these people, and also employ some people around and teach all these therapies. So it was an avenue of income also to the local people, because we wanted to take health to the people instead of people, leaving their homes and a healthy place and going to cities for treatments and, to hospitals and all that. Because everybody knows once you go into the hospital, your mind only gets depressed with the amount of people, the stress, the pollution in cities. So we knew that a village environment is the one that's got good air, good greenery, good water. And so we have to take these centers to the people in a decentralized system. And this is like the final vision of an eco-village. This is the kind of project that I'm banked upon now in Goa. We're trying to do it over a 500 to 1,000 acre property. And in this, you can see that, yes, probably there's an education center, there are some homes around the place, but food also has to be somewhere in the vicinity, where, because the amount of travel the food does, you see, from different states and all of that, it causes a lot of pollution to, move those trucks. There's a lot of mining and all of that done for minerals. So we try to have what is called a low, carbon footprint. But yeah, that word is also demonized now, so I rather go into saying that lesser minerals extracted, lesser fuel used, lesser, miles on our food, and when that is lesser, then you have lesser need for preservatives and all of that. So this is a eco-friendly, self-sufficient community where health is a very local, freely available, experiential thing that people participate in, every day. And this is just, you can see this year what I used to do at my wellness center. Uh, so on every Sunday, we used to have at 3 to 6 p.m. You could see we are doing a health program over there. And then after that, it was followed by an organic market. After that, a little bit of fun, karaoke jam, and then a jumble sale, that is recycle, reuse, things. After that, we used to have, ecologically sensitive movies, and movies on food, environment, health, conserving ocean life, and then finally, a dinner, like a healthy dinner party, or where people can be served. So this is what was comprising, and this is the kind of, at least in Goa, that I have the vision that all wellness centers all over the place, they can be education centers, they can be activity centers, and then they can be health centers. So in this environment, you really get wellness of mind, body, spirit, because you engage with community also. There's arts and culture also built into it. And this model kind of in Goa, we're open sourcing it, and where we want everybody to, see how we do it and learn from it, so that we have wellness everywhere. So now this is my last slide, and talking about some aspects of this integrative natural medicine committee. So what I think is that we should have these committees at every state level. Even though Goa is such a small state, right? It's got 12 lakh of people over here. And still there are so many people sick. There are, the community wellness centers and all, they're not able to take care of people, and they're not reversing illness. So every state, I think, should have a integrative natural medicine committee, that is a board of people. Then from there, also the representatives from there should form a country level committee, and representatives from countries, they should form a global committee. Now, if you see this, this is a truly people's participative kind of structure. If you look at the structure of the World Health Organization over its years, it has not come through this organic route. It is run by very few business entities in the world. And the natural outcome is business people will always take care of their business. But if you have a people's committee, you will see that people will always take care of people. Now, who are these people in these committees? So I just put down some points, and I would, take further insights from our panelists. So I'm just suggesting it could be a registered society, and this is an important point. Members are by invite. That means even if it starts with 1, 2 people in your state, right? The important thing is they have to be domain experts who have delivered services and solutions in that field for at least, earlier I was trying to keep it, minimum 10 years, because that shows the amount of experience. But then after talking to a few people, there are people who have come with certain new innovative sciences that are natural and organic. And some of them have just been pioneering, and they've even come in the newspapers in the last 2, 3 years. So that is open for, review, how many years minimum experience. Then you may have some genuine people who come once you announce that such a committee is being made in your state. Some people may genuinely want to come and be part. So of course they will bring their bio and all of their experience that they've done and the kind of work that they've done. So it can always go through the majority vote of the existing committee members. And another idea is that of course, first you'll have just a few members, but then we look at the committee going to 20, 30, 40, 50 people. And it would be good to have at least one member from each type of, modality, whether it's yoga, whether it's naturopathy, or it's acupressure, acupuncture, so that no treatment of modality in your state is left out. They all get represented. Um, and then finally, a committee. A committee is a higher body that is elected by a group of people for their interest. So, what is the interest now? The interest is wellness of mind, body, and spirit in your state. So, people can come forward who want to, be involved in this movement, and they can nominate certain people. So maybe you have a bigger group of people in your state that are comprised of 1,000 people. But yes, at the highest level, the committee members who meet regularly and talk about what is good health policy. They can also help the government review, many policies. They can be an added asset, because domain experts are the people who really have the knowledge. Now, if you see, uh, just look at the health minister of your state. How many years of experience does he have in health? Or look at your farming minister, or look at your education minister. Are they people with 20 years of experience? How are we expecting them to take good decisions and bring out good policy when they are not domain experts? So these committees can be like that, with very good, knowledgeable people who can bring out really good policy. They can launch new projects. They can see the current facilities of the state. They can see what is lacking. They and their groups of people. Now these are already people who are working in the line. Okay, and they have been doing work on their own. So when they get together as a committee, they can work in a much more integrated way. So this is what I wanted to present about an integrative natural medicine committee. And now I will just end over here. Yes.
Thank you, Darryl. I'll pose the same question to Dr. Susan. What more would you like to add to this? And how can such a committee deliver value to the people?
Namaskar to everybody, and I'm so happy to be here on this panel. Thank you, Darryl, for connecting. And it was nice to hear from you. And I was thinking that as a behavior therapist or as a behavior specialist, I usually go to the bottom of everything, that why we behave the way we behave, why we are in the situation. This is the question, first thing which happens when the need comes, a need for an integrative natural medicine. This is a need we are expressing at this moment in this panel. So you have come up with a lot of solutions, and I am just taking our audience to little more basics, because I'm sure that there will be so many people who are listening and they are asking why it is happening, because that is the first question which comes. Even if it is vaccination, I always tell people that when anything new happens, ask the question why vaccination. Okay, so I know that Jagannath is going to talk about it, but just I'll put this question there. I tell people that we are not scientists or nothing, but just ask this question, or a doctor ask this question. When RNA virus mutates so fast, how can you make a vaccine? First question. It demolishes all the need for vaccination. So when we talk about need to have an integrated natural medicine committee, we must ask question why we need. So I know that you have great plans. We all come together, we'll have amazing plan. There are so many people in India and world around who are thinking of similarly like us, and I am one of them. So we got connected with each other. So shall I take you through that basic things? I'll share my screen. So first thing is whatever is around us, the world around is created by our own behavior. When I make this statement, it has got support there. What is our behavior? Behavior is the interaction of a stimulus, a response. And when these two, you can see here a stimulus and a response. I'm very fond of the triangles and circles of life. So it will I have seen that when a triangle meets, the work is done. When any part is missing, that there will be a problem, whether it is for whether it is for benefit or for loss. Both the way triangles do meet. So a stimulus, for example, I'm talking to you just now. I am a stimulus here at this moment of time. You all are listening. You are responding, whether saying yes, no, or whatever in your heart, in your mind, you're responding. So this continuously keeps going, happening in the world. And for example, a need. When this happens, when there is a need. Just now we are here, it is happening as a Zoom meeting or Zoom webinar. And the need is there. We said the need is for the integrative natural medicine committee. So need has come. So in life, how a certain a culture is formed, how a custom comes, how we become a world or community. This is how it becomes. First, it's a need. So we are talking about a committee. Okay. So the need, when it is fulfilled, we feel happy about it. That happiness comes in us. We are satisfied. So what happens? It goes into repetition. You will do it again and again and again. Then it becomes a habit. That is a coping up mechanism. How we cope up? We are creating a habit. With every habit, when everybody is benefiting, I am benefiting, everybody is benefiting, the community, the whole family sees, wow, it is good. Then the community sees, wow, it is good. Like we all are coming here as a community. We have our own communities. We saw that, oh, we have experienced it. It is good. So it takes one whole generation. One generation is approximately 25 years, we say. It becomes a custom when we repeat a habit with one generation. When we repeat it again and again from one generation to another generation, we call it a culture. Oh, this is our culture, hamara riti aur riwaj hai, like that. And it goes on till the time it is benefiting. The moment the benefit is over, how the benefits get into a problem, somebody will be unjust there, somebody will be biased, and this injustice and bias creates the hypocrisy, and there you will see the problem coming. Okay, सिर्फ मेरे चाचा के लिए, मामा के लिए bias. This is only for my people. Everyone else, let them do anything. I only need to have the benefit. The moment this comes, the same custom and the culture becomes a curse. I'll take you to the next one. Okay. The moment it becomes curse, then people like you and me wake up. You know, till the time we all are comfortable, everything is happening, chal raha hai, chal raha hai. We wake up, aag lag jati hai. Revolution has to happen. Today we are at the stage of revolution. Revolution has to happen because it is threatening the existence. And this is the moment when people who are experiencing different things, they wanted to speak for so long, nobody were willing to listen to them. Now they become vocal. And just now we are becoming vocal, verbal, talking to each other, getting connected. We said, no, something is going wrong. Even if how much ever they are powerful, they are there for the 25 years or 75 years or 100 years or even 1,000 years. However they are experienced and powerful, the fact remains that the reality, or we say sachai, the fact is always the winner. And we are here in that moment. And that's why we are talking about need. So what is the need now? The need to create integrated, see, that word is very important for us, the integrated natural medicine. That means we have done, like, we have forgotten something about nature, and therefore the problem has come. So I'll take you the next. Whenever a need comes, we need to ask question. First question is, why we need it? Second, who can be the part of it, or which kind of healing or healing line can be part of it? Okay, what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. When we say urgent, therefore it is revolution, then where? We say all over the world, decentralized model, isn't it? State level chahiye, nation level chahiye, then we want to go for the world level. So these are the questions. I'll take you to a little more detail. Why we need integrated natural medicine committee? Because we say we have answers. You and me are sitting here with the answers. All those who are listening to us, they have their own answers. Sometimes they may agree with us. Sometimes they say, oh, this also is there. You can come on chat for that. Maybe you can put your response there. Why? Because we have poison in our breath and in our plate. This one statement has got a lot of facts behind it. You can write a book on it. From where this poison is coming? In my breath and in my plate. Then contaminated soil, space, air, fire, water, and use and throw behavior of humans. For 30 years, I'm working on use and throw behavior, and I can see that every time, every problem goes and stands at that particular behavior of humans. Use and throw, istemal karo fake. We use and throw people, we create poverty, destitution, prostitution, and criminal world. We use and throw things, and we create contamination of our soil, space, air, fire, and water. I have written here in Hindi because it comes very nicely. You know, from the ancient time, we were told, Bhagwan ki puja, Bhagwan ki puja. They failed to tell me. I don't know if how many people among you were knowing about it, but for me, my forefathers, my parents, my school has failed me to tell what is this Bhagwan. And when I was interacting with this river movement people, Dr. Rajendra Singh ji and all, he said, Bhagwan means bhumi, that is our soil, Gagan, our space, Vayu, that is our air, Agni, our fire, Na is near, water. These are 5 elements. This is the life. This is the right which God has given to all the living being on this planet. When we are given the right, then we have the responsibility. What is the responsibility? Puja. What is puja? Puja means purna jimmedari, lena. Take extreme responsibilities. Not only sada, extreme. और जब हम when we fail in this, भगवान की पूजा ढंग से नहीं करते. When we make it into get it into subconscious mind, and we are just creating a culture and custom ki just make anything and do puja, nothing is going to happen. Our conscious connection is gone, right? So because of that, then problem will come, and we are facing that problem today. Why we need it? Because we have poison in our plate. We have contaminated our Bhagwan. We are not doing the puja properly. Then other reasons, we have death due to diseases. The original plan, design of God is our body is designed to die by aging and accidents only. Diseases are to keep our immune cells active. We are not supposed to die with disease. We are supposed to die with aging or accident. Why accident? Adventure karte hue, we do adventures. Let us do adventures. What is the adventure? God has created this entire planet. Yeah. Go climb the mountain, dive into the river or the ocean, surf on the ocean's waves, fly in the air. And while doing this, if you met with accident, you die with dignity. Don't die with disease. Diseases are not supposed to kill us when we are young. When we are old and our cells are given up, then. And I have got some plan for old age also. Maybe if somebody asks question, that time we will do. So why we need to do it? Because we are dying with disease. We are not supposed to be dying. Okay. Again, another pain. Another pain is what? Cause of disease. What is the cause of disease today? Side effects of medicine. We are dying. That is a pain. Another need. Disastrous designs of our home. We all are living in a disastrous design. What is a disastrous design? God created our body with different functions. 11 systems are there in our body. Each one is doing their own job. So there is an input, there is an output. Some things are recycled within our body with the liver, by the liver, and some things are taken out of our body. That is our urine, our feces, our sweat, breath. These are going out. And as input, we are taking as oxygen, food, water. So when God has created the system, in our urine is going separately and our feces is going separately, how dare we design a septic tank? From our urine, we can give nitrogen to our soil, and it is there in the septic tank making methane. And now we create a biogas system. And we only talk about methane. What's about other poisonous gases? Septic tanks are having 90% of the mosquito breeding there. We are creating a home for mosquito. Our disastrous designs. We have to think about it. And this is a pain for us today. And we are identifying this pain, point of pains. That is where why is getting answered. Okay. Then all this has caused high cost of living and healthcare. Another point of pain in our life are monopolized domination by so-called elites who control the businesses and politics with injustice and biases. Business is good. God, the creator, does fantastic business. God is the business person. Why? Ek beej, one single seed, 100 to 1,000 seeds will come out of it. Multiply, not only 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times multiplication is a business. God is a business person. We are supposed to do business. Politics, yes, the administration comes in the politics, but when it is done with injustice and bias, this will cause pain. Destitution, poverty, destitution, prostitution, and criminal world is created by the injustice and biases. That is called monopolization, that I am the only one good, everybody is bad. Always balancing between good and bad, hypocrisy will come out, half good and half bad. Then another pain is confusing information given to the patients and the practitioners. And it has created fear among people that our doctors today, they are supposed to be the rishis. Who are the rishis? The scientists and the doctors are the rishis of our society. They cannot ask questions today. They themselves are taking that vaccination. They are giving the children the vaccination. They don't ask questions. Dr. K.K. Agrawal died. He is a doctor. Did not ask questions. There are so many people that died because of fear and fear of inconvenience. We are addicted to conveniences. Conveniences are good, but we should not do adventure on conveniences. Our adventure is supposed to be creating convenience for adventure, not adventure for convenience. What is the convenience? We become innovative and inventive people. New things we have to create. And not on the diseases, but adventure of life, which God has created. Create bridges among with each other. हम तो bridge के बदले में, बंद के बदले में, we are creating dams. Why? Only I should get water. So my villager is leaving the village and going to the city because they don't get rainwater for rest of the 6 months. And we say migration ho raha hai. We need to stimulate the reverse migration. What is the pain today? People are living in Jhopadpatti. Look at Mumbai, Pune. You just name a big city. They have a dam and they have Jhopadpattis and very rich people. Wrong design. How is supposed to be? Supposed to be that rainwater should go, rainwater coming into the rills, to the drains, to the rivers must feed all the land. Every single human habitat has come around the river. And we are killing the river by dams. Wrong design. We have to just copy the creator. We create problem and then create solution. God is giving us the water from the sea. It's coming from the cloud, coming into the filtration plant called the mountain. There it is filtering, giving us the what you call mineral water. And what happened? We are using and throwing all our things into our drains, into our rivers, and now we cannot drink water from any of the drains. So our beautiful brain, engineering brain, goes and makes what? RO system. God's RO system is not sufficient or what? God's RO system is the best system. We are supposed to be channelizing it to our homes. We have done a wrong design. And then competitive mindset induced during the training period. I'm a nurse. There are doctors. We are in the school also. We have competition. We are having competition. For what competition? Who is better than me? Who is better than you? And because of this competition, today all the lines of treatments are competing with each other. They don't care for patients' healing. They have to show that who is best. They make fun of each other. I say our competition is over the day we ran our race from our father's body to our mother's body. 24 hours to 75, 72 hours of race. We had 150 to 300 million brothers and sisters running with us. And you and me are the winner at that moment of time. We progressed from the minutes and seconds to the months, 9 months of mother's womb. That was our home. Our competition is over. Then we are born into the world where we count in the from the seconds to the months and the years. And here what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to be in cooperation with each other, because we are the best, we are the winners, we are special, we are the unique people. Look at our fingerprint, nobody is like you and me. We have done our competition. There is no competition in this world. It is only cooperation, integration. And that is why we need this integration today of all the natural medicine committees required. So what happened? I thought of this and I said in Hindi, Spardha nahi samanvay. Samanvay means coalition or cooperation. Cooperation, not competition for healing. So in our country, we already have several lines of treatment. And we have the Ministry of Ayush. Ayush stands for Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy, Ayush. So what I did, one day I thought, why we are allopathians are competing. Even I'm also from the allopathy line, we compete. I said, this is not necessary. We have to get the allopathian also. So I got my mineral therapies M there, allopathies A there, and took out the naturopathy from yoga and put it at the end. It became Ayushman. Ayushman word itself became so beautiful. I said, wow, long life. That is what will happen. If all this line of treatments will cooperate with each other, you will have long life. Ayushman Bhavaha. Okay, so I'm here to come together in integration. It is not only the Ayushman as a line of treatment. We can have so many other lines are there, like acupressure, acupuncture, energy healing. A lot of them are there. Why not identify all of them, come together and create a coalition, integrated system? Whatever name anybody wants to call, it is their choice. But the whole purpose is to integrate. Okay, not to create one world order. No, God doesn't want one world order. Aisa hota, so we all could have been one color, one type of face cut, replicated. God created us with different colors, different types of. If you read the Bible, the Tower of Babel, there also they wanted one world order. God gave different language there, disturbed. We all are supposed to be living together in our diversity. That is what is amazing to see, different colors, different what you call faith systems, but not fighting, because Creator is the only one. Fighting comes only when there is a hypocritic attitude or mindset. So we have to basically remove that hypocritic mindset. For a long time, I used to think that in this whole world, there is nothing called waste in God's creation. And I used to say only one waste is there, that is called ego. Ego aata hai kisse? Hypocrisy se. ठीक है? And recently God corrected me there also. God said, when you say, I have got nothing waste in this creation, then there is nothing waste. I said, God, ego is there. God said, quietly sit and think about it. I said, then how to kill ego? So I got the wonderful idea. I said, ego can be killed only by forgiveness. Forgive yourself if you are egoistic. Forgive somebody else who are egoistic. It will die. Once it dies, love mushrooms. I said, wow, love mushrooms. And mushrooms really come on the dead plants. Once ego dies, it becomes the food for the mushroom. What is the mushroom? Love is the mushroom, the beautiful thing. And I said, wow, that is why Jesus told everybody at the cross that God forgive them because they do not know what they are doing. That is the forgiveness. And after that, the resurrection was the mushrooming of love. And we can be united in love with different colors. And that's what I would encourage this panel to make it happen. Integrated Natural Medicine Committee. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Susan. That was really, your whole presentation was really enjoyable and very enlightening. I'm now going to pose the same question to Jagannath ji. What are your suggestions?
Namaskar to all. Thank you for inviting me. I and Darryl, we have a thing in common. We both faced tribulation in our lives, and then we became interested in health. Now, currently we talk a lot about health just because we are no longer healthy. In my childhood days, people used to talk of a lot of other things. Health was not a very big issue. Now, another thing Darryl said was, we have a 5,000-year-old system of treatment. But 5,000 years is very small if you consider the time span that India talks about. So what was there before that? Why did medicine start only 5,000 years ago? Now, earlier, people had all the elements that ensured health. That was one thing. And Indians were interested in spirituality. This yoga which we talk about today is a very, very limited version of that spirituality they practiced. What they practiced was they tried to unite with God. Yoga is union with God. And in that process, they knew that purity of body and mind was essential. So certain aspects of naturopathy was there, that cleansing part, and their meditation practices, they had tantric practices, and this thing, what we know a bit from Ashtanga yoga, that kept them healthy. And Indians did not like to talk about material things. They did not like to talk about the body, the spirit. And I was very surprised to read that when the Ayurveds came, they were despised because they talked about the body, they talked about disease, they talked about illness. They even handled dead bodies for the purpose of anatomy. So we see a completely different mindset bringing in Ayurveda, and I suppose at that time disease was indeed a problem, because a civilization goes through many periods of deprivation, of war, of social disturbance, and this creates an imbalance that also creates disease. So for 5,000 years, Ayurveda had a very good run. Naturopathy also flourished. Yoga and pranayam were practiced. But then came a stage when Ayurveda was under attack. It was taught in our universities. It was taught in pathshalas. And the general population, they had a very good idea of the humors, of the seasons, of the mental states, Sattva, Raja, Tama, and they knew the use of common herbs. But this system of education was disturbed when the universities were destroyed and the books were burnt. So currently, we have to learn about Ayurveda by going to the systems of Tibetan medicine, Chinese medicine, because they used to come and study here, and they used to copy the books, and they took the knowledge with them. And another attack on Ayurveda came with the coming of the British. They wanted to establish their own system of medicine. So what they did was, they brought in their concepts, but they had very few takers. The people did not go to them at all. So they had to set up a medical college here, and then they sent Indians abroad, for teaching them. And after coming back, they were, given a very good welcome. They were publicized. So they wanted to make allopathy an Indian concept, but even that did not work. So what did the Britishers do? They understood that the philosophy of Ayurveda was ingrained in Indian minds, and that philosophy is a very important part of Ayurveda. So I think in sometime in 1950 or something, they not 1950, much earlier, 1915, sorry, 1915, they came out with a committee that studied the philosophy behind Ayurveda, and they came out with a report in 1917 that said that this philosophy is a religion, and therefore it does not in any way add to medical knowledge, and it should be scrapped. And what they did was they changed the course of curriculum in all colleges, which focused on disease rather than philosophy. So Ayurveda was corrupted, thoroughly corrupted. And what else was there? At that time, vaccination was in practice. The smallpox vaccine was being given very widely. And these vaccines, they had a terrible impact on the people. If you study the content of the smallpox vaccines, it basically comes from, the pus comes from a dead smallpox victim. It is processed to first calves, then horses, then cows again. And then in many parts of the globe, they did not adhere to this even. So they used monkeys, dogs, rabbits, and all animals they could find. So we had a very dangerous concoction that was being given to populations. And this concoction poisoned the body. You see, the American Indians, they had a prophecy. I think it is the Loki prophecy that says a time will come when herbs will stop working. So this was the time. The vaccine poisoned the body to such an extent, the herbs did not have the required impact. So yes, not only they did that, they also brought in a bevy of diseases. Officially we have 62 diseases linked with the smallpox vaccination, and they were very big diseases. Cancers, the tuberculosis, leprosy, schizophrenia, and even the cholera epidemic and the early plague epidemic was linked to the vaccine. So naturally, if you mass poison people, mass epidemics show up. This is a classic example. And then there was a initiative to correct the imbalances, and there were 4 consultations around independence that wanted to decide on which system of medicine should be adopted by India. So there were 4 consultations. There were only allopathic doctors present in those consultations. And they came out with a suggestion that Ayurveda should be the main system of medicine in India, and we can have the others, and allopathy will be an emergency system of medicine. Now, this was forwarded to our Prime Minister, and but suddenly there was a change in mood, and it was imposed without again consulting with these doctors, that will adopt the allopathic system of medicine. So obviously our international institutions had a very big say in this decision. And for a long time, these systems were systematically, neglected. Till again, there was a Department of Indian System of Medicine in the year 1953, which tried to revive and keep afloat these systems. Then again, in sometime in 1990, around 1990, came the Department of Ayush, and in 2014, we have the Ministry of Ayush. It was launched with a great fanfare, but sadly, it has not, beyond a few posturings, it has sort of maintained the status quo. Now, allopathy, it is a very damning system. So they came out with the germ and virus theory. They are responsible for disease, germ, virus, parasites. But what are these things? They are a part of our microbiome. They keep us healthy. And today, what we know about the microbiome, it clearly says our present day illnesses are because the microbiome and microbiome are severely disturbed. Then they came out with a vaccination. We, in several forums, we have discussed this. It is now a big debate going on in India, at least among those who are trying to avoid it. Then antibiotics. Then came steroids because everything started to fail. We had chemotherapy. I don't know who in God's name can sanction this. And then today we have gene therapy. The CRISPR, gene editing tool will be there, and we have vaccines which are changing our genetic makeup. So these have added to the problems, and this will severely add to the problems, and we will soon reach a stage where once again nothing will work. If you change a person at the genetic level, if you push things like nanoparticles, graphene oxide, and other obnoxious stuff into people, obviously what they will do is wait for death, and they will wish it comes soon. So now what do we do? That is the thing. We are in a minority. People who want these systems to come up, we are vocal in a minority. Many people want this, but for various reasons, they have been quiet. So, and the Ayush systems, they have clubbed in one ministry, and many are resenting this. They want individual, ministries for each of these systems, because they are complete in themselves. The Ayurveds do not want interference. Homeopathy, they have a separate philosophy, separate way of working. Yoga and naturopaths, they also say that if you practice this, you stay healthy. And the Swa Rigpa, the system, it has another, the other aspects. So each of these can function on their own. They don't want an integration. But what happens at the level of the patient? A patient, when he wants to turn away from allopathy, he has a tendency to go to an Ayurved and also have some other system. For example, one may be under the care of both an Ayurveda and a homeopath, or they may do naturopathy and supplement them. So at the patient level, we see an integration. Now, the thing is, what may work best? We have in yoga and naturopathy a great benefit, because a person can take care of his or her own health by himself or herself. This is a huge advantage. If the basics are clear, then a person is guided well. But then we have got several complications that need a well-directed approach, and Ayurveda comes in. And homeopathy with its energy level approach, that also works very well. In fact, if vaccination has to be countered, then one has to go through a detoxification process, either of naturopathy or naturopathy and panchakarma. One has to go as per naturopathic nutrition guidelines, and as the vitality is very severely impacted by vaccines. Repeated, we don't get one. A bevy of vaccines has been directed at us, and at that time, the constitutional treatment of homeopathy is a great savior. And the other systems, what we are currently talking about, Reiki, energy healing, these systems, they too have their own place. The counseling, this body, mind, spirit approach, that is a great approach. But people who are saddled with serious chronic illnesses, they feel that unless they take pills, they will not be healed. And the current system encourages that mode of thinking. And in my state, what I find is the people practicing acupressure or Reiki or energy healing, they don't keep records. Now, unless you record your success stories carefully and publicize them, the people don't feel confident to go and avail their services. So this must be done very methodically. Not only these systems, even the homeopaths and Ayurveds are not doing that, because they don't earn much, and they want to survive at the minimum level. So there we are at a great disadvantage, because the allopathic system, it can design any study to gain any kind of objective, display any kind of result, thanks to the money power and muscle power behind it, and they get all the media attention. Now, who will advocate for the other systems? People like Darryl, people like me, who have benefited and who have through their persistent efforts gained the attention of the people. So we must chalk out a plan as to how we can promote the benefits of these methods, tell people about them, let them listen to stories of those who have benefited. And this very concept, the body, mind, spirit approach, it has not got the attention it deserves. You see, there were many champions. For example, Anandamurthy, P.R. Sarkar, with his concept of microvita, he had embarked on a journey that could have done a lot of things, because many scientists also, they took up this concept. So healing comes from the spirit, In Ayurveda also, there is a concept of Akash, ether or space. The healing comes from there. So these systems, I seriously feel that they should be promoted, and the Ayush system of the government of India, I don't know what can rescue it. Our Prime Minister promises, a lot with Ayurveda. He does very little. He is now championing vaccines. So I will welcome Darryl's effort, and I hope what he has in mind will fructify, and we can have all hands on board. Thank you.
Thank you, Jagannath ji, for all your suggestions. If I may now ask a question for each of the panelists, what are the next steps in getting this committee to start working for the health of the people?
So I would just like to, reply to a couple of points that Jagannath ji put forward, which is, yes, at least I'm addressing the next steps itself. The next steps is to, get into action, because now in terms of action, for example, my wellness center, started in my own house, though I was doing privately earlier, but getting other people to also collaborate in the joint model started in 2015. So, and so many other people across this country have been doing it, and they've mainly been doing it as a private, venture of 4 or 5 people coming together, and not putting it in a public space that this is the new system of. Actually, they were operating a decentralized system only, and integrative mind, body, spirit system. Many of them were not looking much at spirit, but so the work has already started, and we just have to make webinars like these more popular, and then get people into the implementation of it. So this is specifically the work of a committee, and and what is something different if you're doing an organization that is running this integrated setup, that's of course a business. But a committee, like for example, the committee in Goa, as I've started, I already have 10 members in it who are all practicing, natural medicine. And each of them belongs, they're either doing a private practice or they are part of a group. So the thing is that the committee's work is mostly like this, working on policies and integration and publicizing this domain of work, creating conferences, creating melas, and whenever there's any harmful policy for the health of people in the state, to come up and speak against it and give, of course. Always when you find a fault with something, we have to give a solution, and people have been giving solutions for decades. So we have to kind of publicize that. Um, and another thing I want to say is that in practice, though you have shared that it may be difficult for integrating or combining. In practice, when we go to do it, I've seen that yes, a lot more integration happens. I admit that yes, homeopathy is quite a standalone system by itself. But I have also seen that people, even I was treated by Ayurveda for about 3 years, and then by homeopathy also for about 3 years. And then, but most of the time it was allopathy. Um, so I have seen that there are people who have been through Ayurveda, but still they are following some bad habits in food. So they take the advice for nutrition. They take the advice for certain kind of exercises that will benefit them. They will also take natural supplements if found deficient in that. So, and they're also open, whether it's a person who's been following Ayurveda or yoga. I've seen all of them are open to energy medicine, to hands-on healing, whether it's Reiki or pranic healing or it is crystal healing. um, yeah. So, and the second flexibility in this model, where the centers are doing it, if now this I have been talking about and implementing and sharing with others right from the time of 2013. That means the physical therapist, at every center doesn't have to be the same combination. In your village, if there's no acupressurist, you do an acupuncturist, or you do a yoga person, or you do a body worker, or you do a marma therapist, but at least cover one aspect of this. So in operation, I've seen that these integrative natural wellness centers when people really have the intent to do it, it works out. And especially when we put them into operation. Being the convener of the continued medico spiritual education conferences, I will just share whenever it was the tendency of therapists to come on the platform in the half an hour talks or 45 minutes talk, and at the bottom line say that no, my system delivers everything. Okay, so then in the last 2017, I said that I made it very clear that unless if we are going to think that our system does everything, which is not the practical reality also, right? So for example, I've been doing diabetes reversal since donkey's years. And I know that yoga can maintain diabetes and can this, but somebody who's got very high diabetes, who's going 350, 400 and all that, it's only nutrition that, the right kind of diet that will neutralize that. And then you don't need to do yoga for the rest of your life to maintain diabetes. Maybe you can do Surya Namaskar or something. So the thing is that yes, in practice, yeah, it is that. So on these platforms, what I was saying is that that was the tendency. So I just was telling all our experts and therapists. I said, if you have no attitude at all if you think your system is doing everything, then there is no question of integration, right? What is the point why you've come on this platform of integrative medicine? So look at the reality. That's what a therapist also need to understand. Energy medicine and healing and all is not going to fix your diet or your microbiome and all that, right? It will take aches, pains, and energetic blocks and all of that. So what I shared at the last CMSC was we therapists have to actually cross-train others, each other. And that's the only time when we know the details of others that we can have some respect and acceptance. So that is a necessary part of the the problem and the solution, and people have been taking it, whoever really wants to get integrative medicine. And I think the call has to come from the public, because when these systems are integrated, whatever the chronic illness, if you do it mind, body, spirit, I have seen that in most cases within 2 to 3 months, lifelong illnesses get done. My own example is that just for one component, you see, I had a lot of blood toxicity that time. And the thing that actually reversed my skin allergies, within 4 days, I saw the result. My case was getting worse and worse, skin allergies over 10 years. Within 4 days, it saw the result. And what were the two components that worked? Acupressure, and the second was herbal cleanses, neem, tulsi, bael, and all of that. So for 14 years, I just did not see the face of a proper simple herbalist. Okay, complex Ayurvedic formulations were giving for my digestive disorder and all of that. But the thing was toxicity in my blood that had to be cleaned from my liver and my kidneys and all. It took 14 years to address that. So that's why I suffered for so long. So I'm sure when we start, explaining these models to people and start implementing them in centers, it's not necessary that you should at least make the effort, even if you have a physical therapist and an energy therapist, at least start. And initially I did that. I was doing the physical therapy part of it. So that was acupressure. And then I was not a counselor and I was not an energy healer. So I started whoever's coming for physical therapy, I was saying come. And then the next, I would refer them to a friend of mine. If they had a certain component that was to be addressed by energy healing or some emotional problem or stress problem, then I would cross-reference people. So basically is yes, I think we should just put out this system that an integrated approach is the right thing. Let's get into it. And that's why, this committee would be specifically focusing on the rollout of it, not business. Each of those committee members are belonging to certain organizations and centers. They will do their business. But I know that only dedicated people, you see, because these committees will be probably not paying any salaries and all. It's people who are dedicated to the cause, who will come to the committee meets every week, give their suggestions, 1-2 hours, and work together for better events in their state and for the education of people of integrated natural medicine.
Thank you, Darryl. Dr. Susan, would you like to answer that?
Yes, Yes, I would like to to add to whatever we are saying. The first thing has to happen in head. That is a policy. Like Darryl was saying that sometimes people don't people understand everything, but they don't have the attitude. At the end of the program they say, "Ki, my medicine is the best medicine." So how it can be handled? You have to have clear policy who will be the part of the integrated natural medicine committee, so that the policy, once the policy is clear, that means your head is clear, head is connected. And then it comes to the heart, that it reaches to people, how that is called the publicizing it. So second P has come. Once the publicity happens, immediately we have to be ready with our hand that places where it is available. Okay, so we need to work on these three P's: policy, publicize, and places. So we need to work on this, that who are these people who can be connected to this, so that you have you can publicize that where the services are available, which states. I mean, just now also people are asking a question here that now where to get a Vaidya. So once they have confidence in the committee, they would like references. So our policy has to be very clear that we are going to give health in people's hand. People need to know, this should come in the policy. Our policy should be that people should not think that doctors are gods. No, they should think that God has made them and it is their body. They may need to understand their every cells. 50 trillion cells is there. So it is their responsibility. We are there to help, to say that, okay, as a detox kar sakte hain, like that you can do. The practitioners need to help the patients in a different way, whether either you are referring to each other, or you are practicing other people's medicine. Both need to come. So at the policy level, let us be very clear. And at the same time, parallelly, we have to work on how to publicize it. The moment publicizing comes, you need money, you need the budget, and we have to find out that how the contributions come, how we create the income, and the places though should not be a problem, because these practitioners all will have their own practicing places, and it should be publicized. So the publicity ka area have there, we will require thinking of financial resources. So let us now decide that how to go about, because other details should come in the policy, and who will sit and what you call qualify these policies. So we have to create our own experts. Who are these people who will qualify it, that this fits in the policy, and how many years it can run. Now, who was telling me? I think Darryl was telling that when we make something, it should work not for 25 years or 75 years. We are going to work it for 2,500 years. So that means so much of thought need to come there and formalize it. So we have got one place, urgency. That urgency is that we need the medicine, we need the detox, the vaccination. 1.26 crore people are vaccinated in our country, and every telephone call you take, and this very proudly everything is announced. We are going to see people sick within 2 years now. 2023 is going to be the disastrous time for the entire planet of Earth, where the vaccination has been done like this. So one place is urgency of delivering the service, and other places the urgency of our policies need to be clear. Everyone need to agree on these policies, then only it works. So we have got a framework at this moment of time. What is our framework? Our framework is that we are healing what? We are healing our body and mind and the spirit. You say spirit, I say soil. Everyone has got their own way of expressing it, but we have the framework done. Now next level is the process, how it will go from one step to another step. Once the process is clear, our system will come. Again, three things: framework, process, and system. So while we are making policy ke liye framework lagega. We are creating publicity thing, uske liye bhi framework lagega. Everything requires the 3 steps again. So it is so many triangles and circles coming together to create a cycle. Once the cycle happens, it will continue. Routine and repetition will continue. But the triangle is the one where we have to create everything consciously, thinking for 2,500 years. So who are those people? Like, no, select them, connect them, and we have to start our communication. That's what is from my side.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Susan. Yes, so I will probably start it by making one, central, master document, a starting document with all of this structure and form, and I will circulate it with you and Jagannath ji. And then, of course, you all can always take it to other people in your, who you know are very experienced to give their comments and their designs on it. And so, first part would be that making the model, on paper, and then kind of sharing with more and more people, getting some feedback and making it a more concrete document. And then basically, I think it's sharing it with people across India and encouraging some people in each state to start, informally at least making the committee. So like I just, this was before I started the summit. I just took 4 5 days and I was talking to some of our therapists here, and I had about 10 people in our Goa chapter for Integrative Natural Medicine Committee because I already know them. I just explained to them some basics, and they said yes, of course, we would have we're already there on a Telegram group. So I think once we make this model and refine, I think it's a process of continuous improvement. More and more experts will come, more and more from different domains. They may see your document is lacking this aspect of our system. So we will improvise that and make it such a wonderful and deep document. And in the same process, we will keep on sharing with people, let them informally make a group, like, people look at that document and have some understanding agreement on it. And then I think we can start, formalizing the committee. So it's just like one model that is being made, and the same replication is done in every state with the intelligence and wisdom inputs of all of these people. So second point, yes, I do remember in our conversation, I mentioned that time of 2,500 year period. And sometime later in this, in the third, when we go into environment and sustainability, where we are comparing the model of living, how it has deteriorated over the centuries and at what point we are now, and the kind of corrections we are doing. So people should right now understand the current global model with, fuel going to get over in so many years, coal already getting over, and so many other things. There is, as per modern science, it doesn't look like this planet has another more than 50 years of us surviving on the planet. Okay. So, but when we get into the model that we're teaching on this Earth Keepers, the new Earth Summit, going back to very natural, organic, green, recyclable, not making any more holes inside the earth. Okay, that is a model that can take us for a longer period of time. And somebody would ask, why not forever? Okay, so I will share this a little bit towards the end. There will be some speakers on it where we will share with you that during every time period, and especially people in India, okay, who know about the yugas, for example, Kal Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satyug, all the sciences in these time periods, they keep on getting upgraded, and we are in what is called an ascending cycle. So we are finishing Kali Yuga, and we are already, as per me, I follow a cycle of 25,980 years of ascending and descending. So as per that time period, we are now getting into the Dwapara Yuga. So this is the time, critical time, when all people like us, real life scientists, independent scientists who have done so many years of work on this, we are publicly calling out and saying certain systems are very false and damaging to people and the planet. First, we are offering the second, the more integrated sciences. So, and everybody knows that changes are coming in the money system, in the education system, in the housing system, in the health system. So this is the real proof of the change of the yugas. So the new science is being put in now. And these sciences will go to for the next 2,500 years, because that's the capacity of humanity to take in, that much. We cannot give the Satyuga sciences because those are very angelic in nature. It'll take many thousand years for human beings to become angelic. So we are giving the sciences for this next 2,500 years. And definitely all of you, all of us, we will be coming back again and again, and we'll make a more refined model after this period. So that was the significance of this, time period. Jagannath ji, would you like to share on this?
Yeah, yeah. This, what this requires is awoke people and experienced practitioners. Now, people are actually waking up. More will wake up as they feel the impacts of the vaccines on themselves and their family members, friends, relatives. But about these practitioners, I'll say in my state, these people are pretty demoralized. They are scattered, and as I keep on emphasizing, they have absolutely no record of the people they have cured, benefited. So what will be needed is, very experienced people coming over and training people in my state. Getting them on board will not be very easy now, because there was a time when they were very active, but over a period of time, they've completely faded away now. And Vaidyas, yes, Vaidyas, even our organization, they have organized some Vaidyas in a tribal district, and they're doing a wonderful job. So the potential is always there. And I do believe in these systems because I was a Reiki practitioner myself. I used to, I was acquainted with some hospital CEOs, and they used to call me when they felt that giving pain medications to a patient was risky. And I myself could not believe when these people used to fall asleep within 10-15 minutes of my giving them Reiki. And I never used the touch system. And so I used to be very surprised when I used to stop. And after few minutes, these people used to wake up and say, "Why did you stop?" See, there is no way they could have known I have stopped. So there is definitely and 100% there is benefit in these systems. But in my state, at least, we have to start from scratch once again, and it will be a difficult thing. But yes, this needs to be done.
Yes, I agree with you, Jagannath ji. And one point that I wanted to mention, ever since I was with the World United and making this integrated model, that time one of the key features was that only we said that there is the merging of allopathy and these natural systems. We said each has a positive and each has a negative. So the allopathic system, they are very well evidence based and documentation, and all of that they are very good at. And the negative part is their allopathic pills are not reversing illness. Okay, and the second part is whatever natural practitioners do, right? They are all having very good healing, but they are not doing the documentation and they are not being evidence based. So when they are sitting across the table with allopaths, they fail the test because the first thing is where the diagnosis that the person had cancer, then where is the follow up, where are the scans, where is this, that, and then that it doesn't matter if you as a patient or your therapist claim that you'll have cured cancer. It is all good, even if you'll write testimonies and give affidavits about it, but the science has to be there because we have to show the world. So yes, so that is a very important part, the documentation part. And we said we will learn the documentation and scientific evidence-based things from the allopaths, from the scientific guys. So this collaboration is definitely there. And what I will do besides making this the main document for the medicine committee, natural medicine committee formation, I will also put in the already existing, documentation that we have done on this integrated mind, body, spirit thing. And, I'll put that also in the documentation, and people who read it, and we can get more expert advices and incorporate, all of that. So we will, work towards making a model that can be rolled out. People can just take the concept and they can get 5-6 people together and start their operation. I think, it's time for, action. And then, of course, as they do that, they will have some good feedback and experience to bring to the committee, right? It's not necessary that a committee has to be appointed first. The people in the state can start applying the concept, and then they can, give feedback to the committee. Can be done parallelly.
Thank you, Darryl. Thank you all three panelists for answering that. We have a question from Ashish Mukherjee. It's directed to Darryl. Darryl, one of the problems people face, even if they do believe in Ayush treatments, is to know who is a capable physician rather than a quack. This becomes more about knowing a good Veda, etc., within our own network. What is the solution to this hurdle in your vision?
So yes, I mean the best is now, see, because we are trying to make local models, right? We are trying to make it a decentralized model. So in a way, it helps with this also, because the person that you are going to consult will be from your state, from your locality, and all of that. If your committee has done a good job, you'll have all kind of different, therapists and all available in your state. You would not have to call somebody from a different state, and then you don't know their patients and you cannot verify them. So one important part is that if you want to trust a therapist, then you have to go by their, by their client testimonies. And if they're confident, they can give. Of course, some clients do not want to talk on the phone and tell all their case history and all that to you. But yes, one way of verifying is through their, through their documentations, through their clients, only people who have got benefited from them. And what I advise is for the specific ailments that you have, right? You ask those clients who have had the similar ailments and how it was treated by their physician. I think that is the very sure short way. If you are not able to get the confidence directly from looking at a website or looking at a profile or looking at uh, um, information about a particular therapist. It's only people who can really give you feedback. And of course, the other system is a lot of paperwork, certification, and all of that. But up till now, in this, in our wellness centers and all that have been going on, all our efforts, we have not, of course, the documentation can be there, you see, but finally people go for what works. So it is still the testimony, or sometimes it is, and I think people can also just go for initial consultation and see, how that works out for them. And in all integrative medicine practices, definitely the first part will be education. So if you start following the advice on diet or certain habits or a certain detox, and you go home with it and try it and it works, then these are people that give solutions. So I think that's the way to go about it. Dr.
Thank you,
Suman,
Darryl.
do you have any other uh, suggestions on this for how the clients can, be sure of a practitioner?
Yes, like what I do is that when a patient comes to me, I ask them everything on WhatsApp so that I have a document I can always cut and paste into my hard disk on the computer. Then I ask all the test reports. I tell them that although your cells tell me what it is, your pain, your discomfort, but it is good for documentation you provide, so that happens. And once the cure happens, we make the assessment and see again, do the test and see that what the test is saying, how much difference is there when they stop all the other medicine and they continue with the alternative which has suited them the best. So that is the way I do. Testimonies definitely are powerful, but I have seen some of my patients don't like to come on the video and all, but they send me the what you call voice testimonies. They send me sometimes writing, but these are all needed to be collected, and that's how it's one of the best thing, at least with the modern innovations of all these various facilities or conveniences of documents, we must use it. We should have the records and create archives, and so that anybody can refer anytime, create duplicates in many places, keep it in different places. That's how I think we should think about it. Documentation is necessary. Keep soft like documentation in soft copy, documentation in hard copy, everything has got some kind of time period, isn't it? more technology badal jati hai, and suddenly you see that everything is there in your what cassette. The cassette is gone in the CD. Now it is in the pen drive now. So we have to think of all these different methods of documentation. Yes, and I think Sophia, somebody was asking about Loretta was asking about integrated this thing. That is something which she mentioned about Ayushman. So
Yeah,
we
so Dr.
answer.
Susan, before you comment on that, I just reflected on this one thing is that, yes, the committee, one of the main jobs of the committee would also be to start, creating the evidence
Yeah.
for all of their therapies and all that. So client testimonies and all would be very important. And I have seen in my practice that when it's a very common illnesses that people don't have, any inhibitions of talking about. Yes, yes, I lost, 25 kilos. Yes, I reversed my diabetes. I had arthritis. Most common illnesses, I've seen my clients, they're very happy to give testimony. It's only on certain private issues where, they do not want to talk about it. Some people don't want to talk about cancer even if they've been cured, because then they say others think that cancer is in the family. That's also a perception. But yes, I think for most common illnesses, clients are happy to give testimony. And maybe we could have a system where the testimony goes, as a protocol. Maybe you just mention the first name and you do not take the second name of the person, and that can be shared by, publicly. And only if it's ever doubted, and somebody wants to really verify it, and somebody is debating it, then an internal kind of audit can be done with the real client name and all that. So some smart protocols like this would make available, lot of testimonies and the efficacy and and the success rate of such kind of treatments. I think that's very important for the system to succeed. If we are saying that it's better than all other systems, the integrated format, as has been my experience. So yes, we will keep on innovating and bringing out systems that are more that the public can trust more and can see more transparency, because yeah, we are a kind of the committee generally is something that is there to serve the larger interest of this field.
And I would say that one of the things which we have to be very careful always, the moment we see competitive spirit, we have to immediately quench it then and there very nicely. There has to be a system, because that is something which penetrates somewhere and then ego comes in the way. So that integration requires integration. I mean, there should not be anybody thinking that their line of treatment is the best. Everyone is best. Whatever suits a person is the best. Healing is the ultimate goal. This is what we need to be always conscious about it. We should never think of making it as a subconscious level program. It has to be consciously created every time.
Thank you both, Darryl and Dr. Susan. I think Loretta Rodriguez made a suggestion. She says, I like the Ayushman concept of integrated medicine. AIM can initiate it for the treatment of post-vaccination illnesses and symptoms. A group on Telegram can be a start. Okay, and the next question is directed to Darryl again. Sunita D'Souza asks, hi Darryl, how do we join your group for updates? Is there one on WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook?
So Sunita, yes, the simple thing that you can do is just go to my website, darryldesouza.com, and there you will find my group links. Right now, there are WhatsApp groups, which is Earth Keepers in different Earth Keepers Goa or Delhi and all. Once you come into that group, now Earth Keepers covers the complete perspective: wellness of mind, body, spirit, then food, farming, and environment. Okay, so once you're in that group, if you really want to go into the integrated natural medicine committee and all that, then we will direct you from there. So that's what you can do. And I just wanted to mention one more thing. Is earlier when I was talking, about this the corporate business globally that is, declaring that there is a virus and giving their, Jabardasti vaccine to all of us. People may have thought that, I have forgotten that what is the other cause of these symptoms. So what I would advise people is go to the Awaken India movement website, and in the important documents section, download this document called the truth of the scamdemic. In that, you will understand and see the evidence and the explanation, the scientific explanation of what is causing these COVID symptoms. Okay, whether it's for 1 week or 14 days, and how 5G, how EMF, how chemtrails, and other toxicities have brought humanity to this level that at this point in time, a lot of people are expressing those symptoms. Okay, so there's a science behind it, and try to understand that, because those are the other things in this world that we have to mitigate, and whatever's toxic and damaging the human body, that has to be neutralized and that has to be stopped. If till the time we don't do that, then we will be getting such kind of symptoms. Okay, there are many things that cause inflammation of the lungs and the intestinal tract, and with that, even if it's not a germ, even if it's electricity, you will get the symptoms of cough, cold, flu, because it is a detox process. It is a detox process once your body is damaged with toxicity. Okay, so that's what I wanted to address. So it's, so find the real truth of what's happening to humanity now, how it is increasing, and how to stop it. Thank you.
Thank you, Darryl. I think Dr. Susan has touched on this next question. So Bunker asks, do people follow the test protocols related to allopathy? Which tests are acceptable and which allopathic tests should be avoided? Earlier, MRI, CT scans, blood tests were not available to homeopathic and other treatments.
Okay, there is nothing called allopathic test, first thing. Okay, there is a test for our cells, for our blood, that what are the condition inside, whether you are testing for hemoglobin or particular cells or some growth or some constrictions or swelling or broken bone. All these things are the one, whatever is in your body inside, what we cannot see from the outside, we do the test. Okay, so there is nothing called allopathic test. Test is the test, and all the lines of practitioner can ask for test. Even a patient can go to the testing center and say self-referred. Okay, why they want a particular person name there? Because most of the testing centers have got a commission system with the doctors. So they require the name of the doctor so that that particular patient's commission can go to the doctor. Otherwise, doctor's name is not required. There is the, only for the therapies, particular treatments, you require a doctor, because that doctor is supposed to take responsibility for what treatment they are giving. So I think I made it very clear, isn't it? That test, it doesn't belong to anybody. It is common. Anybody can go and ask for a test if you know about it. If you don't know about it, only your doctor or a technician can tell you this test is for what. That is the only thing knowledge we require. If you know that what test you need, go to the lab and tell that I want this test done. They will say, tell your doctor's name, tell self-referred. They have to write their self-referred. Only few labs may make little fuss because they don't know about it. Otherwise, I think most of the labs are okay with it. My patients, I have told them like that, and none of them have ever complained that particular lab has not done the test.
So, yes, just one aspect of that question is, which are the tests that are harmful. Now, whichever test has been prescribed to you, you can consult a natural medicine practitioner who will give you a good perspective on it, because we have left the damaging test and we are in the domain of natural tests. Okay, so it is commonly known now that mammography, repeated mammographies are actually harmful and it can spread the cancer. So instead of that, do a thermograph. Okay. Now, another amazing natural testing system is acupressure for diagnosis, which I have been teaching since 16 years. So in half an hour's time, I can check a person's both hands and check all of their organs and the state. Meaning in that, I will be able to tell the person whether the organ has, it's a little bit effective negatively, medium, or very highly. So those 3 degrees can be done. So I would suggest to people to learn acupressure. It's an amazing science. It is actually a home science. Okay, it's a home science. Everybody should know it. Kids should know it because anytime you get a headache and all that, or any aches and pains, you should just press some points and get rid of it. Of course, the longer term I have detailed in my book, acidity and all of those things come from certain foods, certain habits. You need to correct that for the long term. Okay, so I would advise that acupressure is a very nice diagnostic system.
That reminds me that Darryl, in our schools, the curriculum should be changed. Our children should be taught about all these things in the school also.
Right.
Curriculum we are having in our school. Children
Yes.
are made into like nothing. They have no skills developed except for writing and reading and memorizing, but no other skills. I think we have to change the entire education system. We have got 3 things with us. We have to change the designs of the home. We have to
Yes.
change the education, curriculum. We have to change schooling of the mind, and then the type of the medication. The way we treat our body has to be changed. All the 3: environment, education, and health. Thank you.
And some good people have already been voicing it. I think it was in somewhere in 2016, where a lady who was with, she was the wife of a Indian Air Force pilot, and she came for my workshop. It helped her, then it helped her son. Then when I went to Delhi on request, it took at least twice, I think, when we coordinated. The head of the Indian Air Force, they asked me to come to their office and to give, have a meeting with them. I had gone to Delhi for a workshop. Actually, I finished the workshop, and on my way to the airport, they came, and it was so wonderful. They came to pick me. So first time in my life, this kind of, blue car with the Indian flag and all on it. I was picked up. I went to the office. 3, 4 of their senior people were sitting with me, and that's what they said. They said your book needs to come into our schools all across the country. And the only request was, could you make it a little more simpler in wordings for the children to understand? Okay. So I said, yes, definitely, I will make the effort and do it. And then after that, and they said yes, because this should come in the primary school itself, the basic healthcare sciences. And then I had the work of course, rewriting the whole book with simple things. So it was quite a task. And then secondly, I was bringing out new editions every 2 years. Even now, I'm trying to bring out the final edition, which has got another 4 additional chapters. And I've done a lot of it. I got another 1 month of work left on it. So I guess when I do that, it is getting translated. It's only in English. It'll get translated to another 5 Indian languages. I think that's the time I'll do the version for, schools. So yes, so people are there, good people who are understanding that the current systems are complicated, and besides being complicated, they are not doing the job. So it's better to have simple systems that work.
Thank you, Darryl. We have one last question. Christian asks, what is NLP? It was mentioned in Darryl's integrative natural medicine approaches.
Yes, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. Okay, these are mental techniques. It's mainly for rewording your vocabulary and the way you think about yourself and certain statements. So by linguistic, right? So it's what you talk about. So people have got a lot of, disempowering dialogues all through their life, negative talk, which brings down the energy, which creates fear, blockages, a lack of self-worth, and all of that. So NLP is for that part to take out all those negative dialogues, bringing more affirming and empowering dialogue and thoughts, because both of these things are what they're connected, what you say and what you think. So that's the science. And similar in that area, it's also hypnotherapy, or that is through certain suggestions, hypnotic suggestions. Of course, you're in your conscious state. You change your negative talk into positive talk, and there's Silva method of mind control also. And for past trauma that you had either in this lifetime, or for those people who believe in earlier lifetimes, there's regression therapy, or what you know as past life regression. So these are all in the mind space, which also not only the mind space, they connect with your energy body and your chakras and your cellular memory as well. So very effective therapies, mainly for any kind of fears, phobias, limitations, limiting thoughts, all of that.
Thank you, Darryl. It looks like we have no further questions. So we end today's session with a big thank you to our panelists and a thanks to our audience as well for hanging in there. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at the same time on the same link for our Day 10 topic, Lessons from the Indigenous Tribes UNDRIP 2007 Declaration. Namaste and have a lovely evening.